But while festivals are the stuff dreams are made of, elsewhere in the West, things aren't quite as easy. Forget gardens, these people don't even have the privilege of their own homes. Meet one squatter who's determined not to stop until that's changed. It looks a bit like camping. No running water, no heating or electricity.
It is very difficult indeed, because you have to sort of limit ourselves, like, you know, you have like one pan of water and you've got to like make your tea, do the washing up, all of it with it, you know, and have a wash as well, I suppose.
We have no way of keeping food, and yeah, tins and jars is...
Satyana is a squatter. He's also an idealist.
It's the way we live.
A year ago, in the summer of 2002, Satyana was squatting here in St Werburghs in Bristol. It used to be an elderly people's home. Satyana's on a mission, angry that buildings are going to waste while there are people without homes. Last summer he was living with Jason, who'd been sleeping rough before squatting.
But you were on the streets, weren't you, before?
Yeah.
Like that. What was that like?
Sort of like sort of living in car parks and things like that. Slept in the car park up at the church in Clifton a couple of times, like sort of Christmas time. It was really cold, really cold.
Why do I do it? Being unable to afford rents elsewhere, and it's a short-term accommodation. Yeah, it's a form of independence as well.
Satyana's goal is to put some of Bristol's empty buildings to good use. His squat had been a residential home for elderly people that had closed down. It had been empty for at least a year when Satyana and his friends moved in. The squatters have to rely on their neighbours to get by.
Hi, can I fill up some water cups with water?
Yes, you can.
And many of the locals are happy to help.
We have done nothing to anger or upset the local community. In fact, they like it that we're here. We're using a building that's empty, and they see it as only right and proper, really.
I think they've got every right to be squatting there, really. I really don't like to see so many empty buildings around that can be used for good use rather than just left. And I believe that the squatters down there are cleaning the place up and making it a better place to live.
There's squatters and squatters. There's people who just go around and vandalise things, and there's people who want to make a home. And there's a vast difference between the two.
It's good to have support from such people as yourselves, also from the
Well,
community.
I've always supported. I support it.
The locals were worried about rumours that the building was going to become an overnight hostel for homeless people. Many say they'd rather have the squatters living here than people who will come and go.
And these people here are people who can help out. These people want to help themselves.
But Satyana knows that not everyone will support his case.
I think people don't really know very much about squatting. I think they don't really understand it. They must be dirty, that they must be living in sordid conditions, which is untrue. Every squatter I know has made a constructive contribution to the buildings they live in. You know, it's an indispensable part of being a squatter.
For Jason, squatting has been a way out of homelessness and drug addiction. The support and friendship he gets from Satyana has helped him find the strength to kick his habit.
I came off about 15 weeks ago, and I've been doing all right since I lived over here. Like, you know, I've been in a hostel and I don't like it. You know, I'm trying to keep away from drugs and that. So I'm sort of, you know, the people I'm with at the moment, like, you know, totally against that, and it's good because it sort of takes my mind off it.
We are trying to make it our own home, and come in here and have a look. I've been collecting things from all over Bristol, basically to try and furnish this room in a manner in which I want to live in, really.
So, Satyana, would you say you're a typical squatter?
I don't know. I don't know quite how to assess what typical is, really. It's like sort of trying to say what normal is, really. Perhaps I am, perhaps I'm not. Without some kind of shelter, there is no life. It's the first thing in any environment, shelter than water.
Around 40,000 people are waiting for homes across the southwest. And there are more than 70,000 vacant homes. While people bed down on the streets in every neighbourhood, buildings stand empty.
I think it's a disgrace, you know. It's also blatant, you know, it's blatant misuse of property. And it's that somewhere in the system somebody doesn't really care.
But this Bristol group have found a way around the system. Their building in Easton used to be a squat too, but eventually the squatters managed to club together to buy it. Now it's their home and community meeting place. But when the group moved in 6 years ago, it was barely habitable.
The floorboards and everything is just like almost like collapsing, you know, and it's just like the brick wall in the back, it was almost collapsing as well, like problems with the roof, with the, you know, like, yeah, it had, I mean, any building needs a bit of maintenance and that.
The group run the place as a cooperative called Kebele. Once a week they have a cafe night here. This is the kind of thing Satyana aspires to. Catweazle was one of the founder members and remembers the determination they needed to buy the building.
They tried to evict us, you see, the bank who owned the buildings. I won't mention the bank, but... and so we threatened to squat the place, I mean to barricade it up, and they thought, oh, it's going to cost too much to evict these people, and we might as well give them an option on a mortgage, you see. So we got in touch with Triodos, which is the environmental bank in Clifton, and they gave us a very good option. And they said, right, if you have the upstairs rooms on housing benefit, that'll pay for the mortgage, you see. And so that's how it's worked ever since, for the past 6 years or so.
Well, it's somewhere to come and eat, where it doesn't matter if your clothes haven't been particularly washed because you ain't got a washing machine that week, or, you know, it's somewhere you can relax, it's somewhere where you can chill out, it's somewhere where you feel safe.
Well, it's an example of how others have done it before me, how it's possible, and that it's not really a problem at all to do it. You know, it's actually quite easy. So it's easy for me to get my head around as such.
But at the squat in St Werburghs, Satyana's still having to improvise to get by. The building doesn't look much right now, but he's been inspired by Kebele. And he has big plans.
This could be used as some kind of community kitchen, some place to train people how they can make food for themselves.
Some of his ideas sound achievable.
Courses for students how to eat very cheap on the meagre grants they get nowadays. A community cafe, whatever really, the opportunities.
But some are perhaps a little more unusual.
Also we have ideas for the buildings, such as an urban eco-lifestyle training centre. We have through here quite a large courtyard as well. I mean, we could also do barbecues and other events outside there. There's quite a large room in here. It's just a shame to see it not able to be used, and we're very open and welcoming of community suggestions and proposals.
But it's not to be. Just a few months later, Satyana and his friends were forced to move out. The building's been locked and secured and is now waiting to be refurbished by the owners.
We had eviction papers served on us after a court case, and we found somewhere else to live. And it wasn't, as a political statement or as a resistance on behalf of the community, it didn't have any mileage in it, so we moved on.
What do you think you could end up doing?
Go somewhere else, I think. I have to be realistic. I haven't given up. I mean, you don't give up until there's no avenue of opportunity.
He may be locked out here, but Satyana hasn't given up on his dream of running his own co-op.
I love dreaming. I think we should all dream, you know, dream the biggest dreams we can. And if we can make them practical and bring it down to ground and actually make it possible, then that's also good.
If you'd like to find out more about Satyana's campaign, then have a look at our website. Sadly, since the film was made, Catweazle, one of Kebele's founder members, has died. You know, if the gardens hadn't got here first, this wide open space would be the perfect playground for ponies.